Yup. Yes, I'ma creep through the back. I'ma see through all the pores and the cracks. I'ma seek more than the applause and the claps. I'ma keep jaws on the floor's doormat. Suspense, there's no pretense about it.
Alright. So first episode, this is the Deep Language Podcast.
What's up? Welcome to that, everyone.
Yes, I go by Deep Legacy, aka Deep.
And
right here is Envy.
one half of foreign language, and that's where we derived the name. So it's deep language, right?
Yes, sir. And don't get confused. It's Envy, Nice Verbals, not Envy.
Right, the DJ.
Yeah. This ain't the Breakfast Club. It's more like the dinner club because we're shooting like 7 o'clock at night.
Right.
Yeah, man. So you come up in the music business. I aspire to be a musician. So, like, to you, I guess we'll jump right into it. To you, what do you think success is? Like, what do you thrive with your music and where you want to be at?
Reaching a lot of people, having them all hear the music, and hopefully getting something from it, being entertained, being getting something from it, like how do I put it best? Just like something like a moral compass, something they can understand, and kind of feed off of that. Like I try to leave a message in my music.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
You definitely do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and like now, if you look at it as a perspective of, you see outside looking in, and you see, these young dudes, they're like jumping on these bandwagons, looking for the chains, the cars, just wilding, like they're just wilding out. And it's just crazy to me, like, my thing to success is bigger picture. Always look at the bigger picture. Because what's in front of you is not what you want. It's the bigger picture, what you're going to get.
Right.
I look, I aspire myself around the guys like, Jay, Wayne, these self-made dudes. I mean, I guess Wayne really wasn't self-made, but he built up to that.
Yeah, he did. I mean, even though, like, you could have the tools and still not do great things with them. So, in one regard, you're always going to have to, like, make something of yourself, even if you were given an opportunity. Because everybody doesn't capitalize on that opportunity.
Exactly.
But I think that's what success is, because you, if you have the right formula, you can continue to build on that and grow.
Man, that's what I said. I said, success ain't, when you get there. It's how you keep it when you get there. How you stay there.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys, they have $1 million today, and tomorrow they don't have enough for a 4 for $4 at Wendy's. Like, it'd be like that.
Yeah, that's real. So I think, also success is the mentality you have around, it is the mentality you have around money, because success isn't necessarily money.
Yeah.
It's, where you see yourself in terms of your career, like what direction. If you focus on what you love doing, then the money will come. But that can't be your basis for success.
Nah.
I guess unless you're an entrepreneur, you're looking at just growing businesses and, what you're going to do with the money. I think that's what it really boils down to, is what you're looking to do with your growth, even whether it's financial or, are you going to pass your growth and your wisdom, like your success down to other people, or are you just going to,
Yeah, and what's crazy is, a lot of people, they just see success. They don't see the work behind it.
Yeah.
You see a music video, and you're like, oh, this dude's wearing Gucci and Louis Vuitton, and that. Yeah, but a lot of the dudes you see on the street wearing that, they don't got a whip. They don't got a house. They're living in their mom's house doing something crazy. A lot of times that's all they have. So how can you sit there and say, how can they sit there and go, oh, but I'm successful. See, I'm wearing these new Yeezys that are $400. Yeah, but that $400 could have been a rent check.
Right.
To me, success is, you have your priorities straight. you know, and you're able to deal with your priorities without no worries.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're working a 9 to 5, you're a rapper, a singer, a movie star, whatever. As long as you're straight and your priorities are good, your bills are paid, whatever, do what you want.
Yeah.
But if you don't got it in the check, stop wearing these designers. But you can see that's what they see on TV. And I was a victim to it when I was a teenager. You know, I think Dipset were the ones that brought like the fitted jeans in, and I had to wear a pair of fitted jeans. I had to wear a pair of Chuck Taylors. You know, I was repping Taylor Gang, and I didn't even know Wiz Khalifa. I was doing some wild stuff. But me, I was always one where I was like, I had to be outside of the bunch. You know, everybody at that time, everybody was with Drake and Wayne and all this. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna bump Wiz Khalifa. And I know people that could vouch for me. When I moved up here, I was the only dude rocking with Wiz Khalifa. The only dude. And then he dropped Black and Yellow.
Nah.
And everybody jumped on it. But then they start seeing, like I said, you see this. This guy made Chuck Taylor's cool again. I guess the West Coast always had that. But he made Chuck Taylor's cool again on the East Coast. He made, you know, that skater vibe cool. I mean, so it was like, you know, I was always that one person. I'm looking at the guy, and you could say he's self-made. I mean, he's really not doing much right now, but he's still self-made. He's still living a good life. His priorities are good. So I think what it is I think it's too much watching than it is actually doing.
Oh yeah, really. That is what it boils down. The mentality is often fake it till you make it.
Pretty much.
And that's what people do. That's where they get off. They get the game backwards. So they they see in the aftermath. They're seeing the byproduct of the hard work.
Yeah.
And so they think they can start in that direction, and then the success will come.
Yeah.
From saying, you know, or from appearing like they're successful.
Yeah. And half the time, that ain't even their stuff.
Nah.
You know, they're getting that stuff from the designer going, hey, wear this in your video. I'll give you a couple shirts.
Yeah.
It's
all about the image.
Yeah. So it's like, to me, it's just crazy. Like, you know, you have all these aspiring rappers now because it's easy to access. You could buy a computer, a laptop, you could buy a mic, buy an interface or whatever you need. Get a Reasons, get a Studio One, Pro Tools, and you could do almost everything you could do without spending $500 an hour at a studio. You know, not knocking anybody that runs a studio, you know, get your bread. But, you know, these kids, you know, if you're aspiring to be a rapper, I think you need to, like, think about, all right, how can I make it the cheapest I can, but with the best quality?
Right.
Because it's about putting money in your pockets at some point.
Right.
You know, it's about, you know, making a living off of your art.
Right.
You know, and so it's like, do it on your own. Be smart about it. Don't try to be the cool guy. Yeah, I'm up in the studio with, you know, so and so. You know, I'm doing my thing. Da 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 da. And it's like, yo, but you're spending $100 an hour to do 2 songs.
So BS. I mean, it's because at that point the appeal, the thrill of, you know, what it feels like in that appearance is the driving force versus pouring some type of passion into the hard work. And I mean, I've seen that when people would have less skill and you know, and then they would just focus on their image. And some people are really good with that because at the end of the day, you kind of got to have both. But it's maybe more valid to have the skill first, or that kind of down, and then your image will develop. You'll mature and you'll kind of develop it. Because I mean, even Wiz Khalifa, he didn't come out with that image. I mean, but he had skill.
Yeah, and
he had good production.
He started building something.
Stuff. Yeah. So that all came later.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you know, you have all these great artists, and you know, I always respect the artists that do something new. You know, some people may not or may not be a fan of this one, Kendrick, who raps like him, and if they do, they're mimicking him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's another thing is like, come up with your own flow, your own style. This da 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 da, you know, and it's like, all right, that's cool. We get it. You could do that mumble stuff. We get it. But be a trendsetter. Don't be a follower.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think I said this to you before. I think people need to learn to aspire not to hang out with the celebrity, but be the person the celebrity wants to hang out with.
Right.
You know, you want to be that guy.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where it's like, you know, because yeah, you're rocking with so and so, but you look like a pipe rider. You look like, you know, like you know, nah, I'm not bowing down to you because you bleed the same as I do. So if you don't want to rock with me, I'm not rocking with you. You know, it's simple as that. And it's like, you know, and it seems nowadays too, like to become famous, and I hate to say it, but it seems like a lot of these artists to become like big, they have to die.
Unfortunately.
You know, look at Nipsey, you know, Nipsey's main example, like this dude was talking about something in his music, but nobody really rocked with him because it wasn't da 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 da. You couldn't like not, you know, it was more just listen to it. And then unfortunately he was murdered, and now it's like, oh, Nipsey was my favorite rapper. Man, he was always on some stuff. Da da da. It's like, nah, man, like you can't sit there and say that because you wasn't rocking with him when he was alive.
Right.
But they seem to, like, once they die, it's like number one. And it's a shame, you know. Same thing with, and I fell victim to this. Pop Smoke. I didn't hear one song with him before he died, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna check his music out, and I actually enjoyed his music. So I was like, that's a shame, man. I wish I really listened to him when he was alive, because like he really would have had something there. You know, same thing with guys like XXXTentacion. Like, I remember not even a month before he died, they were like, F him, man, he's a woman beater, da 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 da. He died, it's like, oh man, XXXTentacion, he was taken too soon, da da, oh, God bless him. He didn't do nothing. It's like, yo, you switched your story up real quick.
Yeah,
like,
people, that's a common trend, but people should always separate the person from their music.
Yeah.
Being Nipsey Hussle was all around.
Yeah.
And he was a good entrepreneur, a good businessman, a good role model.
Yeah, for sure.
He was all those things. So it's real easy in that case. With XXXTentacion, I kind of looked at it like, you know, I kind of separated the man from the music.
Yeah,
I could tell even in his music though he was trouble.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
But it was almost like he was on the up and up.
Like he was moving. Like you see, like every time he dropped something, it was like he was leveling up to something more.
And I think he would have, with success, maybe he would have become more upstanding. But maybe, you know, maybe not. But I know Nipsey. The thing with him is, you know, it's kind of like you could see the progress.
Yeah.
And he still would have continued to climb. But
Absolutely.
It's just like these people are robbed in their, you know, when they're a couple steps away from their prime.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but that's the trend, man. Like everyone, people are good at being followers because it's easy.
It's easy.
And
exactly.
it's good to follow the appearance of success because
it doesn't hurt as much with the failure of success.
Yeah, and they think they're gonna get their validation from appearing successful rather than putting the hard work in. Because even when you put the hard work in, if you fail, at least you can have like some type of dignity.
Yeah, for sure.
Versus just trying to chase the wave.
And that's the hard part, man. It's like, because that wave is so easy to catch. It is. It's so easy to catch. Like, it's because, and I get it, but it's like, is it worth it at the end of the day? Mm-hmm. Is it gonna provide you what you need at the end of the day?
Yeah, the legacy won't be there though.
Yeah, because you know, you see, you know, especially with all the other artists, you got these artists. Linkin Park, the lead singer from there, this dude had everything in his palm. Still didn't make him happy. So it's get to the point where not
even
the
like
money.
Avicii.
Yeah, not to where the money makes you happy, because the money's always gonna make you happy.
Right.
The money's always gonna make you happy, but once it's gone, it's gonna kill you. just be happy with life at the end of the day. Don't worry about the money. The money will come if you do the work. It's be happy with what you're doing and be happy with the life that you're living, because you only got one. Enjoy it. You know. Same thing with these rappers that get themselves affiliated with gangs. The gang is not going to help you get successful. It's not. I don't knock them. If you want to, if you come into the game before and you are your own thing, you were doing your thing on the streets, getting busy, and you bring that on, that's on you. But if you come in and you're already a successful star, you already got stuff going on, and you go, you know what, today I feel like I'm going to be a blood. And it's like, and it seems like that, and it's like, but it's like, then something happens with that certain gang, and it's like, oh, I don't want to be a blood no more. I don't want to be this no more. Because, and it's like, nah, that's not how that works. Stay away from it. Keep making your bread. Because all you're doing is you're giving them bread, and they're going to ruin your business. They're going to ruin your image because you want to be a knucklehead and you want to say, yeah, I rock with the bad boys. Nah, man, it's not worth it. It's not worth that at all. Because it's like, you see, unfortunately, these young guys, look at Kodak Black. I don't think this dude's ever getting out.
Oh, man.
Look at Bobby Shmurda. Like, this dude was on top of the world before he went in.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, it's something to be said. Quick to rise and then things like that happen. Yeah, but that's by no means definitely that's not success.
Yeah,
it's not success.
Because you're invited to something much bigger than you can handle. A friend of mine said in one of his songs, he said, God won't put you in any situation you can't handle, but you could put yourself in a situation you can't handle. And I was like, damn, that was some deep shit. Like, that was some real stuff he said. And it made me think. I was like, yeah, life's all about your choices. So make the right ones. And, no pun intended, but you'll be successful. You make the right choices. Everybody's going to slip and fall. But it's all about how you get back up. And I feel like that's such a cliche, but it's the truth. It's the truth because, we're, as being both aspiring artists, it's like, we are both two different styles. We're both two different, eras. But for some reason, it molds. And that's where you gotta find. Like, you find your mold. You find what you can click to. And it's like, you're unstoppable. Unstoppable. Same thing with, like, the clout chasing. Like, it's okay to clout chase. But when you say things like, when you're really a nobody, I'm not going to say no names, but there's one dude said, I don't like Tupac. Alright, that's cool. You're young. You don't know who Tupac is. I really don't know who Tupac is. I was a kid unfortunately, when he passed. But then you go, he makes whack music. And you're like, now you're going a little too far. That's not looking for the right clout. Because when you're looking for that kind of clout, you're inviting bad news.
Yeah, so he certainly said it to try and get some attention.
And it's a bad attention. Because you got old heads that, they might have been in jail with Tupac and was riding with him. And they don't care. They will approach you and be like, what you say about my guy? Guys still fight for Tupac to this day. I seen grown men sit there, have debates about who's better, Biggie or Tupac, and it gets heated. I was listening to Tupac before Biggie even came out. So you can't sit there and use that as a clout. Don't disrespect the legend. Probably one of the GOATs. You can't disrespect that person. But then you got the guys, again, not saying any names, but he goes in jail, snitches on everybody because he was fighting the bad news dudes. He was fighting the gangs in his life.
Yeah.
They did him dirty. and then you go and snitch on them, get out, and you come out talking the same craziness. And to me, it's like, yo, it's not the right way to do it. So, with closing, I think, you know, when it comes to success, just make the right choices and just don't stop moving. Just keep moving. If somebody don't like the track you send them, or somebody don't like the painting you send them, somebody don't like the you know, the script or the movie you send them, the film, your camera work, whatever you're doing, if you're a barber, just keep working, because at that moment you can only get better. And I think that's the best way. You can only get better if you keep moving. And I think people just give up the second they hear that no. I think that's where it falls through. And that's crazy to me.
Yeah, for sure, man. I agree 100%. I mean, that's all part of the game. It's just, you know, but it's almost like, I mean, in this world, everyone's selling themselves. So you're gonna hear, you know, how many no's can you get before you?
Someone eventually gonna say yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like the old head told me, when you talk to a girl, what's the worst thing she could say to you? Nope.
Right.
Keep it moving.
Yeah.
Somebody's eventually gonna say yes.
That's real.
Alright, so this is the end of this episode.
Signing off.
Signing off. So check you next week. You know, next week we're going horror movies.
Okay.
So we're, you know, Halloween special. So let's do rock with that.
Yeah, that sounds good. So we'll see you guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'ma creep through the back. I'ma see through all the pores and the cracks. I'ma seek more than the applause and the claps. I'ma keep jaws on the floor's doormat. Suspense, there's no pretense about it. See another one that's real? Nah, I doubt it. It's too crowded in the game, y'all need to route it. So hop in your new whip, start